You've seen them. The quiet ones. No posts, no updates, no stories. Just silence, in a world screaming for attention. And maybe you've wondered, why? Why stay unseen when the world rewards visibility? It's easy to think they're shy, distant, or antisocial. But that's not the truth. Their silence isn't emptiness. It's awareness. It's rebellion. Because in this age where everyone is performing life, choosing not to perform is a radical act. Scroll long enough and you'll see it. People broadcasting every detail, their morning coffee, their joy, their pain, packaged and polished for strangers. It looks alive, but underneath it's exhausting. You can feel it, that quiet fatigue of pretending to be fine. Social media has turned existence into an audition. Every photo says, "Please see me." Every caption whispers, "Please approve." Every like becomes a breath of validation. We no longer share to connect. We share to confirm we still matter. And yet, somewhere along the way, some people realized how hollow that chase really is. They saw how it trains you to think in posts, to plan your happiness around angles and filters, to measure your worth by reactions instead of reflection. So they stopped. No announcement, no explanation. Just quiet withdrawal, deliberate, powerful. To the world, it looks like absence. To them, it's freedom. Because silence, when chosen, isn't isolation. It's control. It's the decision to stop handing your soul to an algorithm. They understand something most have forgotten. That privacy is not a lack of connection. It's the deepest form of it. When you stop documenting every breath, you begin to feel again. You taste food without photographing it. You walk under rain without reaching for your phone. You experience life, not as content, but as presence. These quiet ones aren't disconnected. They're just awake. They see through the illusion of constant noise. The illusion that attention equals meaning. They don't need to announce every joy to prove it's real. They don't need witnesses to validate their worth. They live inside their moments, while the rest of the world keeps editing theirs. And maybe that's what makes them unsettling. They can't be measured. They can't be categorized. They exist outside the currency of likes and views. Their silence says one thing, louder than any post ever could. I don't need to be seen to exist. Because in the end, the loudest souls are not the ones shouting online. They're the ones who have learned to live quietly, deeply, and completely without an audience. The psychology behind this silence runs deeper than most people think. It isn't just preference. It's survival. Psychologists call it self-presentational pressure. That subtle anxiety of always being watched, of knowing that every post, every word, every picture is a performance, not an expression. It's the invisible weight of being perceived. And for many, it becomes too heavy to carry. When you live like that for long enough, you forget how to exist without an audience. You start asking, how does this look, instead of how does this feel? And slowly, you lose touch with your inner compass. But when someone steps out of that cycle, something powerful happens. The lens disappears. The performance ends. And the self, the real self, begins to return. They start doing things without proof. Cooking without photographing it. Traveling without tagging it, feeling without explaining it. That's not withdrawal. That's recovery. A quiet healing from years of invisible noise. Because whether we admit it or not, social media has rewired our brains. Every heart, every like, every comment is a drop of dopamine. It feels good for a second, then it fades, and you crave another. Over time, it becomes a loop, a behavioral addiction dressed as connection. You're not sharing to express anymore. You're sharing to feel real. Now imagine breaking that loop. Imagine being strong enough to stop feeding the system that feeds on your attention. That's not disinterest. That's discipline. People who stop posting aren't lost. They've just found a different kind of control. A psychological state called internal locus of control, where your sense of worth and happiness come from within, not from outside approval. They don't need the digital echo of you're enough to believe it. They already know. And that's rare, because most people live through mirrors, seeing themselves only in the reflection of other people's eyes. But when you step out of that reflection, you start to see yourself with clarity. Unfiltered, uncurated, real. Psychologists have measured it. When people take long breaks from posting or consuming social media, their emotional stability rises, their life satisfaction increases. They start feeling anchored again. Because when your identity isn't constantly mirrored back at you, it becomes solid. It becomes yours. You're no longer editing your existence to make it digestible. You're living it. Raw, messy, unfiltered, whole. And maybe that's what true peace feels like. Not being loved by everyone, but being aligned with yourself. It's not arrogance. It's awareness. It's the moment you realize that silence isn't a lack of connection. It's connection without distortion. Stillness isn't withdrawal. It's healing. And the quiet mind, the one no longer addicted to validation, that's where truth begins. So if you've ever felt like disappearing from the feed, don't feel guilty. You're not falling behind. You're just remembering what it means to be human. To exist, not for likes, but for life itself. Some people mistake silence for weakness, but silence, when it's chosen, is strength in its purest form. Because the truth is, social media was designed to connect us. Yet, it's left millions feeling more alone than ever. We scroll through highlight reels while hiding our own chaos. We perform happiness while quietly falling apart. And those who stop posting, they're not running from connection. They're searching for a real one. They've realized that the most meaningful moments in life are not meant for the feed. Growth, grief, love, healing, all of them happen quietly, unseen, unrecorded, untouched. There's a concept in psychology called psychological ownership. It means that something, a memory, a moment, an emotion, belongs completely to you. But the instant you post it, that ownership dissolves. It becomes public property, open to judgment and distortion. And for some people, that loss of ownership feels like losing a piece of their soul. So they guard it. They keep their moments pure, private, unshared, not out of fear, but out of reverence. Because once you've known the peace of being unseen, the noise of applause feels hollow. You begin to realize your worth doesn't vanish when nobody's watching. Your truth doesn't fade in the dark. It simply stops performing. That's what real confidence is. Not shouting your identity online, but holding it quietly, securely inside your chest. People say, if you didn't post it, did it even happen? But the things that shape you most, the heartbreaks, the transformations, the silent victories, they live in memory, not media. Privacy isn't loneliness, it's intimacy with yourself. Stillness isn't emptiness, its depth. And those who live quietly, they aren't detached. They're fully present. They absorb what others miss, the way light shifts across a wall, the tremor in a voice before it breaks, the laughter that doesn't need witnesses. Their silence holds more life than most people's noise, because when you stop performing, you start feeling. When you stop curating, you start living. And when you stop chasing attention, you find meaning. So maybe the quiet ones aren't missing out. Maybe they've simply remembered something the rest of us forgot. That being unseen doesn't mean being alone. That being quiet doesn't mean being empty. That the truest version of who you are doesn't need to be posted to exist. Because in a world desperate to be seen, the ones who stay silent are the ones who truly see. And maybe, just maybe, their silence isn't a retreat. It's a revolution. So take a breath, put the phone down, step back into yourself. Because this life, your real, unfiltered, unposted life, is waiting. You don't have to share it to make it beautiful. You just have to live it. And if this message found you when you needed it most, don't let it fade. Subscribe to The Growth Valley. Stay connected to the truth beneath the noise. Together, we'll remember what the world forgot. How to be fully alive, quietly.